The first tip is going to be advice on how to gain the content for your resume. Second tip is going to be on how to actually go ahead and form that content into bullets for your resume. And the third tip is going to be on how to refine your resume. Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Hayles and this is Hayles Consulting. Hayles Consulting is dedicated to helping you gain clarity on your career. Writing a resume can be so stressful, and it doesn't need to be. Because with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to tell you how to start and finish your resume. Whether you're updating one or crafting a brand new one, these tips are going to walk you through the process and how to create a standout resume. Now, before we even get started here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because what that's going to do is update you every single time I upload a new video. The first tip is going to be advice on how to gain the content for your resume. Second tip is going to be on how to actually go ahead and form that content into bullets for your resume. And the third tip is going to be on how to refine your resume. Let's get started. One of the main things that people have a hard time with curating is the actual content for their resume. My first tip on how to actually curate the content for your resume is to create an accomplishments folder and a task folder. And what I mean by this, it can be an email folder, it can be an actual physical folder, a journal, a notepad, whatever you want it to be. It's basically an opportunity for you to physically take account for every single time you've been awarded or you've been granted a new task. So in your accomplishments folder, you may want to put things like emails from clients saying thank you, you were amazing. Your manager saying you did awesome on that project. You're creating a place for all of the accomplishments that you've had to live in one specific location. Now in the task folder, what you're listing out there, either physically or electronically and in the email, whatever it may be, you are curating content for every single time you've been given a new task, you've created a new task for yourself, your manager asked you to start on a new project, whatever it is, or a client has a new request for you. Create this folder so that you have also a running list of not only just what you've accomplished, but the new task that you've been given. As I said before, crafting the actual content to go into your resume is sometimes the hardest part, because we have a hard time remembering every single thing that we did that year. So imagine just going into your email, clicking on the awards folder, boom. Now you have 20 different things that you can write about on your resume. Or clicking on your task folder and boom, you have 20 new tasks or projects or things that you've been associated with that you can't even remember because they happened 3 months ago, and now they're all in one place for you to be able to write about on your resume. A resume is primarily about impact. There are a lot of people with the same position as you. So what these 2 folders do is allow you to differentiate yourself from all the other people that have the same exact position, because only you can receive the awards that you've received and only you can complete the tasks that you've completed. So use these 2 folders to curate the content for your resume, because at the end of the day, when it's all in one place, it's a lot easier to curate and it's a lot easier to remember. So now that you have the actual content for your resume, it's now time to write the bullet points for your resume. So my second tip on how to write a standout resume is to use the XYZ formula. The XYZ formula was crafted by recruiters at Google, and in my opinion, it is a foolproof formula for writing the bullet points in your resume. The XYZ formula goes like this. Accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. And what this formula does is show impact. In today's competitive job search landscape, it is not enough. It is not enough to have very vague resume bullet points. They need to show impact. And what this formula drives you to do is say, okay, your bullet point says right now that you consulted with advertisers. That's awesome, but how many people did you consult with? What did you consult with them about? How often did you do this? Was there a portfolio amount of money that these advertisers were working with? Tell us more. That's what the XYZ formula is about. It's saying that you accomplish this, measured by this, by doing this. All right, so let's walk through this formula together. So most people may see a bullet point like this and think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. If anything, it sounds amazing. Consulted with advertisers on their marketing strategy. Yeah, sounds pretty good, but it could be even better. Because in that phrase, I have no idea how many people did you consult with, how often did you consult with them, what did the portfolio look like. That phrase isn't really showing much impact because anybody that's an advertising consultant could have written that. So let's use the XYZ formula to turn that sentence and bullet point into something more impactful. Managed a $20 million portfolio of 20 advertisers on developing their marketing strategy. Now you may be saying to yourself, that just did a complete 360 that I don't know if I'm ready to really transform my words into that yet. So I'm going to break down exactly how I got from A to Z. So in this sentence of consulted advertisers on developing their marketing strategy, what's missing from here is the measured by. So how many advertisers did you work with? What did their portfolio look like? Like what exactly was it that you were working with? How was this measured? All I did was say how many advertisers and what the portfolio looked like. The portfolio is obviously an extra piece of information, but that's something that you would know more than me when you're developing that bullet point. Oh, even if the sentence just went from consulted advertisers on how to develop their marketing strategy to saying consulted 20 advertisers, that in and of itself alone changes the sentence and makes it more impactful. So if you can't necessarily think of that $20 million fact in your bullet point or your sentence, at least add how many advertisers you worked with, because that in and of itself will up-level your resume. So again, once you have your content for the resume, you're now going to want to write your resume. And in order to do so, you want to create very impactful sentences or bullets, however you want to refer to them, that show exactly what you did and measure what you did. And in order to do that, use the XYZ formula. So you can transform sentences like this into this. So now that you went ahead and crafted the content, written it up, now it's time to refine it. So my last tip on how to curate a standout resume is to refrain from using the words managed, led, or supported. Now you're probably saying to yourself, Brittany, what is wrong with those words? Why are they negative? It's not necessarily that anything's wrong with them or that they're negative. The problem is that they're overused. We oftentimes get very comfortable with specific vocabulary because it feels comfortable and we use it all the time. But when you force yourself to not use the words managed, supported, or led, it actually requires you to think deeper into what it is that you're trying to explain. So if your sentence says, led weekly staffing meetings, again, dig a little deeper. I think what you're trying to say is that you facilitated weekly staffing meetings, or even deeper into that. In order to get to the staffing meeting that you led or facilitated, what exactly did you do? Maybe there was some data that you had to analyze. So once you throw away that word led, now you really have to dig deeper into how you impacted that meeting. So your sentence may change completely. It may go from led weekly staffing meetings to analyze such and such amount of documents for the meeting, presented on compensation and benefits during the staffing meeting, like whatever it is. So again, these words are not bad at all. They're not negative, but I do encourage you to think outside of the box because what they do is stunt our creativity and stunt our ability to describe what we did exactly and how we showed impact in detail. Because when you use words like managed, led, or supported, you leave out the fact that you had to go through tons of documents to prepare for that meeting, or that during that meeting you presented to VPs and directors and executives. Because all you're saying is that you led the meeting, but what did you do to get there, and what did you do while you were there? That's what we want to see on your resume. So if once you've crafted that resume and now you want someone to look over it, I'd be happy to do that for you. So go ahead and go down in the description bar below, check out my services, and figure out which one works best for you. Also, do not forget to subscribe. Actually, just go ahead and do it right now. All right, perfect. Do not forget to like this video and share it with somebody who you think would really benefit from hearing these tips. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!